Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how you can improve your recovery as an athlete, more specifically for basketball in between games. Basketball season is something where you're trying to improve your recovery because you might have 2 or 3 games, sometimes even 4 in a given week. And we need to figure out a way to reduce your soreness and get you to perform at your best game in and game out. Just like I normally do, I'm going to hammer on the basics. So we're going to start out with sleep. Sleeping should be high quality, meaning that you're getting 7 to 8 hours uninterrupted. Everybody's sleep needs are a little bit different, but if you're sleeping 5 hours a night, don't expect to recover well. And if you're only sleeping 5 hours a night and you're blaming it on miscellaneous things and you're not trying to improve it by doing any of these things I'm about to list, start by utilizing this list to get better high quality sleep. It'll make a dramatic impact. So have a regular sleep schedule. Go to bed at the same time, wake up at the same time. So if you go to bed at 10, you wake up at 6, that's 8 hours. So I don't care if you got homework to do, if you went to bed at 11 and got up at 7, still 8 hours. You can get probably 7 to 8 hours of high quality sleep if you prioritize it. So try and be consistent with when you go down and when you wake up. And that includes weekends. Second thing you could do is sleep in complete darkness and have a quiet sleeping environment. So if you have to get blackout curtains, in my old apartment I literally bought blackout curtains and I duct taped them to the wall because I had a street light right outside my window and I wanted high quality sleep. It made a huge difference and I slept way better. Second thing with sleeping in complete quietness is basically you can use white noise. If you turn a fan on, it'll drown out some of the things that might disrupt your sleep throughout the night. Next, avoid screens 30 minutes or more before bedtime. A lot of athletes, a lot of humans are staring into their phone or watching TV right up to the moment of them going to bed. So I highly encourage you to ditch the phone, ditch TVs, ditch the screens 30 to 60 minutes before bed, because phones are meant to get your brain stimulated. You're trying to shut your brain down though, so we want to avoid that best we can 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Next thing is to sleep in a cool environment. Typically, if you sleep in a little bit cooler environment, that leads to more high quality sleep than sleeping in a hot environment that gets you to sweat. So experiment a little bit with what temperature you sleep at best. Don't just settle for this is the temperature that I have to sleep at. If you can use a fan to cool things off or just to change the temperature in your room, it does make a difference. Next component of sleep is to monitor caffeine. Caffeine has a long half-life, meaning it stays in your body for a long time. So 5 to 7 hours is a half-life, meaning if you had a Diet Coke with dinner, that's going to still be in your system when you go to bed at 10, 11 p.m. So if you discontinue caffeine intake around noon every day, that could improve your sleep throughout the night. And if you are really struggling with sleep, you could obviously do a sleep study or supplement with some melatonin. I would talk to more of an expert in that field, but these are the basics. You've got to be doing these easy things. Every single person that watches this more than likely has the ability to influence most of these factors. So don't be lazy. Try and get the best high quality sleep you can to improve your recovery. Component number 2 is nutrition, meaning how can we use nutrition to leverage better performance, better recovery? The first thing is to prioritize protein. So I recommend aiming for 0.8 to 1 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So as a 200-pound male, that means my range of protein for 0.8 would be 160 grams of protein for a given day, upwards of 200 grams of protein for a given day. I aim personally closer to 200 per day. That helps me recover better. I also notice a difference as far as performance is concerned. Foods that will help you get to those numbers are going to be your fish, your lean meats, your protein powders. Whey protein specifically is going to help with performance and recovery benefits more than any other kind of protein. It's been shown very clearly in the literature. Same thing with this 0.8 to 1 grams per pound. Those are the numbers that across the board that all the literature is really pointing towards. Other foods are eggs and cottage cheese and Greek yogurt. I'll attach a resource as well for more nutritious versus less nutritious foods, and I would gravitate towards those high quality proteins. They're going to help you recover better. Next thing you could do is have more than just 2 protein servings per day. So if I was going to have 200 grams of protein in a day, I don't want to just have it in 2 servings. I don't want 2 100 gram servings. Ideally, how I'll recover the best is to have 4 to 5 servings of protein per day. And that might not be the most convenient thing for you, so that's where like whey protein comes in handy. It's very convenient, and you can get a lot of protein really easily. And for very active athletes, I would emphasize a carbohydrate powder, things like Gatorade or Powerade. Those, and they have specific gels and powders too that you could use. But basically, if you're going to go and play a 2-hour game and you're going to work your tail off, you need to replenish those electrolytes that you are basically burning out, you're sweating out, and using on the court. For those people, Gatorade is a perfect fit. That's who it is built for. You need to replenish those things that you are burning and losing. Those are also super convenient, and they're easy ways to get your calories back in. You're very active athletes. That's who this drink is made for. These drinks end up getting the bad rap a lot of the times just because there's a bunch of sugar in it, but like, guess what you're using on the court? You're using carbohydrate and sugar. Sugar's not a bad thing. You're using it, and you want it to be readily available in your body if you're playing a high performance sport like basketball in season. And again, the more nutritious versus less nutritious spreadsheet is going to show you what foods that I would gravitate towards. And those foods are going to help you recover better. They just will, because they have more nutrients in them. Next thing I talk about is hydration. So basically, you do not want to be having dark yellow urine. Okay, so when you go to the bathroom and you see your urine, it should be relatively transparent. It should be clear or semi-clear. Dehydration can directly impair your performance. So if you're going out on a basketball court and you are not well hydrated, that is on you. Really easy tip is just to carry a water bottle with you and make sure that you are having clear or semi-clear urine. You don't want to have dark yellow urine. Nobody talks about this because it's kind of weird and it's kind of like uncomfortable to talk about, but honestly, it's a really easy thing to fix. Last thing that I'm going to hammer on here is supplementation. So like I mentioned earlier, a protein powder is going to be incredibly useful in regards to recovery and boosting your overall protein intake. We know that. The second thing I would prioritize is tart cherry juice. And that might not be something that you've heard about, but there's actually some solid research behind it, where 1 ounce of tart cherry juice concentrate, and you just mix it with some water so it doesn't taste absolutely horrendous. That can basically help you recover better. It can reduce DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness, and just speed up your recovery process. So that's an easy one to do, and it's pretty cheap. And the third thing is a creatine monohydrate. Creatine monohydrate is awesome for explosive sports. It can help with creating energy, it can help with recovery. It's super safe, it's super studied. If you're buying something, it should be a creatine monohydrate. It should say 1 serving on the back, it should have 1 ingredient. It should not have a whole slew of different things, and it shouldn't be chock full of sugar. It is creatine monohydrate, 5 grams. That's it. Simple, easy. Those are the things that you can do to recover your athletes faster. Some of them are the basics, but they are some of the most important things that you could be doing. So don't overlook the basics, master the basics. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the page, ask me questions when you have them. I look forward to helping. I'll talk to you soon.